Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Namaste. We just had some cold banana and mango. What?
And pineapple.
What? What is that?
It's like a smoothie.
Smoothie, icy. And then
Icy
I
smoothie.
forgot that when I take something too ice, my vocal cords get even worse. Mm, so we are getting to the last passage of this chapter 7. Swami was unfolding the verse 13, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 13.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deluded by these states which are affected by the three gunas, this whole world does not know me. As we have seen, the world is promised so much, it's very attractive. The gunas of Maya makes it entertaining, seducing. And that is the power of Maya. Very seductive, very delusional. Aparaprakriti has all the properties, so it's very much perceptible for our sense organ. We have the five senses contacting their respective objects. I'm sorry, but my voice became challenging. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Do you want me to get you a warm drink or something? Yes.
Please, yeah. Anything, just warm some water and put it in here for me.
Okay.
Boil it a little bit and mix them from the filter, please. So Krishna says that we are distracted by a paraprakriti to such an extent that we lose sight of the fundamental spirit, paraprakriti, our very higher nature. We have several analogies, such as the light, such as the screen, the motionless substratum, the screen, the light, the space. We take for granted this basic fundamental principles, which is, in analogy, the only reality, So Krishna has given several descriptions, and now it's entering the crucial subject that everything is just God, paraprakriti. I don't want to repeat myself too much. Okay. So we came up to here. Now the question is, what is the harm if I do not care for knowing the most subtle, the most invisible consciousness, spirit, paraprakriti? I don't care for something that I can't really objectify and experience. So what's the harm? Huh? There are so many things I can objectify and experience. I'm going to waste my life looking for something that I cannot experience. In fact, I find aparaprakriti. In fact, I find aparaprakriti, which is the world of numberless namarupas. It's all I need. It's going to provide me my favorite objects of experience. I'll be able to choose and pick among so many things. Why to waste this opportunity pursuing something that is invisible, something that is so subtle that cannot be experienced objectively? These are a profound inquiries, you know. Most people unconsciously is thinking on those lines, you know, unconscious. So because people who come to Vedanta, they believe, no, I want the truth, I want reality, you know, but subconsciously they are still questioning, you know, why? What is in there for me? The scriptures, our scripture says that you should know this, you should know a paraprakriti, that apara prakriti will never give you the happiness and satisfaction you are looking for, will never fulfill you. You are looking for fulfillment. Fulfillment means purnatvam. You want to feel full, complete, nothing's lack, no desires, no aversions. This is purnatvam, completeness, fullness, satisfaction. We have a yearning for that, and we search that in the field of objects of experience without realizing that Purnatvan is our very nature that needs to be understood and claimed. In the world of objects of experience, I will never find what I'm looking for, but most people do not know that they are looking for Purnatvan. They don't know, they don't understand that. They think that they are a bag that has to be fulfilled with objects of desire. But the list of desires never ends. And this bag seems to have a hole in the bottom that more you put acquired objects, it somehow never fulfills, never fill up the bag. Everything in this world is finite by nature. It's bound by time and space. If Purnatvan is not there, I will never be peaceful and satisfied. Only my true nature as consciousness contains Purnatvan, fullness, satisfaction. Anything from this world is finite and changing, bound by time. It's just going to make my desire for more better, like in the language of Ramji, more better and if possible, slightly different, because we get annoyed with the same. You know? The only solution is to go towards paraprakriti. The second lesson is that everything that is obtained in aparaprakriti is in a flux of change. Nothing remains the same. Nothing is permanent in this world. Everything is changing. And especially people, human people. People change so much, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you know someone when you oh my God.
Yeah.
If you hold on to anything in this apparakrit appearing order, it will change and disappear. Therefore, nothing is going to give you a sense of stability, security. Don't think that a lot of money is going to do that, because it won't. So many people around are very rich and very miserable. Huh? Some even commit suicide or attempt to suicide. Or status, higher posts here and there. None of this will help, because all of these situations, they are all subject to change. I like the example that the most powerful human being lately in this planet is the president of the United States. But did you notice that after 10, 20, 40 years, nobody even remember those people anymore?
Yeah.
They are nobody. The moment they are out of there, you
Yeah.
know.
Yesterday's news.
Yeah, yesterday's news. Yeah, exactly. Everything is changing.
Yeah.
Nothing's permanent. If you want to have something permanent, you have to learn to associate with something which is by nature permanent and therefore beyond time. And this something is not something really away from you. Huh? We have the situation of the river Ganga. In Haridwar, a place I have been, you want to take a dip. It's very enjoyable. But the river is a flowing river. It has a lot of power. It has freshness, but it has the power to take you away. So if you want to enjoy the freshness of samsara, the river, you need to hold on to something that's going to give you security and stability. You can enjoy, in other words, you can enjoy the freshness or the fun of living a samsaric life, but you better hold on to something that's going to give you security and stability. So that's why they have these metal chains there. So you enter in the river, but you hold on to something. Iron chain. Why you are boldly holding on to? Because of the fact that, in fact, one of the students, long before I took the students, that person, there was facility for bus and chain. He just took the chain and the chain gave away. So he's telling this story and he's saying, why you are telling this story? Something like that. Anyhow, somebody was holding on to the chain, but the chain gave away. But there was a lot of rocks, and the person could hold on to the rocks and being pulled from the flow of the river. He likes to tell a story sometimes. He's just saying that we require something which is not wildly moving in samsara. In samsara, there is something which is not wildly or softly moving. And you need to associate with that. In this world, you may have 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000 changing relationships, and that is not going to give you any stability or sense of security. All of these relationships are changing, and people die, and people change their mind, and you die in between. Nobody is going to give you this sense of stability. The only relationship that can give us that is with Saguna and ultimate Nirguna Brahman. Human mind is always search for some thing that gives it stability, security, yeah, something that is not moving and changing, something which is stable. Unfortunate thing is that we try to stick to something that is changing, and we don't try to stick to something that's not changing.
That's so true.
Very, very, very hard truth. We expect that to be permanent, the person, the people, the things, and the circumstance. And the tragedy strikes at the most unexpected moment. And then the person, oh my God, again, I got association with something in apara prakriti. What we sought was a source of stability, security, and permanence gives away, and suddenly we feel the ground underneath is gone. Imagine that it happens in mountaineering. He's gonna tell another story here. He all have got tents, and it would have been fixed properly, deeply driven, tied to the rope, everything. But what happened? The whole chunk of the area came down. Just imagine the tragedy. We see these things in Brazil, right and left during the monsoon. So not even the ground can give us really stability, because it may move, washes away. Therefore, we require something beyond the 5 elements to hold on to. We need to have something such as God, which is beyond the gunas. And that is called Saguna Bhagwan, and especially Nirguna Bhagwan, the Prakriti. If we have got that chain called the Lord, then the world life can be enjoyed. So simple, huh? Then you can take a dip here and there until you feel like it's enough. And but having a dip here and there, you have to be always ready to deal with some karma, because if you take a dip in samsara, there is some karma.
Yeah.
And and you are not going to expect anything to be permanent. You know the nature of deep in samsara, and you are ready to deal with the consequence, but you don't expect something, because that would be unfounded expectation, unrealistic. You cannot expect anything from apara prakriti, but people still do expect it. Even some Vedantis. Krishna says, Jesus, one unintelligent people miss and therefore terribly suffer, and therefore he says, Mohitam, total delusion. They expect sasvatam from asasvatam. I forgot, what is this sasvatam? I'm not being able to infer it in here.
Shashvatam means the permanent.
Permanent, yeah.
From the impermanent.
So this is the trouble with human beings. Therefore, what's the solution? You can take a dip here and there. You can enjoy a little bit of trouble, but do not try to hold on to anything in the troubled apara prakriti, because they give you no stability, no security. The only solution is to renounce apara prakriti as a means to find security, stability, and peace. you can still use a prakriti to play with. If you have the chain of security, it means the Lord, and then you can take a dip here and there. There should be the river, but there should be the chain as well. So enjoy samsara, but never forget that samsara is just a superimposition upon Brahman or Ishvara to begin with. And only Ishvara is the ground, the additional, the substratum, the screen, which does not change. And know that everything is just Brahman. And everything resolves as Brahman, as Ishvara. So in that way, you can play with the world, and the world will never really threaten you. And the solution is going to be better explained in the next verse. So give me the verse, please, Swami. This divine Maya of mind, which consists of three gunas, is indeed difficult to cross over. Only those people who surrender to the Lord cross over this Maya, this samsara. So again, it presents Maya. Maya can be, it's a word that can be used, to replace samsara, So the power to delude people to believe that this superimposition is real and it's the way I can resolve myself and find permanent peace. This is incredible power to deceive people, This divine Maya of mind, which consists of three gunas, is indeed difficult to cross over. So the three gunas, they are the fundamental blocks of Maya, of samsara, and it spreads, as numberless configurations of elements, and it appears to be real. And then we get caught up in this samsara due to the power of Maya, and we don't know how to get out, And then in the difficult to find a way to cross over this samsara, we just fall for any charlatan who comes and gives false promise right and left. In the political, in the spiritual, in the social, everywhere.
Yeah.
Only those people who surrender to the Lord will cross over this Maya. You understand why it's so difficult to get out of samsara? We have been living for only God knows how many incarnations or births. And on our credit, there is a fact that it seems we have been born again and again as human beings, which is supposedly some merit, But we are born out of ignorance. We live in societies which are an ocean of ignorance among ignorant people. And it's very difficult to get out. So difficult, extremely difficult. Just imagine what it takes for us to develop enough merits to come in contact with the scripture and the guru, And even when we get in contact, yet very few move on with the program, without look right and left to see if there is a shortcut. It's very difficult. Ignorance is so profoundly hardwired in people's causal body. So Swami Paramarthananda just read this verse and remembered something that happened to him, which is not very much to the point here. He's going to describe a situation. He was going to, with a group of people, to a little mountain, a hill or mountain. And the path to go up on the mountain usually is round and round and round. And he wanted a shortcut. And he was leading the group, or he was ahead of the group, and he started cutting. When he was coming, I said, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to cross here. And then he crossed over, and he started, sleeping, I would say.
Slipping, yeah.
Sleeping. There was a slope. He tried to go and he started sleeping. And then he's trying to hold to something stable, in analogy with find security and stability associated with the Lord. But everything he was holding on to was not really stable. And then after a lot of coming down, he found a tree that was half broken, and then he was held. So I guess he learned the lesson. What would be the moral of this story? Don't find shortcuts, maybe, because if you take a shortcut, maybe you won't find really God, Bhagwan, to give you stability and security. Bhagwan does not like shortcuts. Bhagwan wants you to grow, in mature, in a proper way. But people want shortcuts all the time. And they are never going to get any benefit such as security and stability. Swami says what saved me was a broken tree that somehow was firm and motionless. This samsara, wherever you hold, whatsoever you hold to, is like dry, loose leaves. There is this example of you are in the ocean, in the lake, and then you start drowning, and then you see some nice big leaves, and then you hold on the leaves, but the leaves are not going to help you. Only holding on to God, associating to God alone will give us the support necessary for spiritual growth. And remember, before tragedy strikes, begin associating and holding on to the Lord rather than to false gurus. That's the solution Krishna gives here. Maya is capable of deluding the entire humanity. It says so at the beginning of the Gita somewhere. Krishna says, by the power of my Maya, I will delude all my jivas. So what is this? The way he deludes? He presents tempting, attractive, namarupas. And the human mind will feel seduced and attracted, and that is going to take you away from that which is the only source of security, stability, and peace and love, which is God. But in these days, the materialistic society will say, Why there should be religion? Why there should be God? We have AI, we have technologies, we don't need this myth of God. So I'm saying this is the arrogance we experience at this time. Oh, I'm having a good time. I'm making money and I'm building my house. I've got a family. I don't need God. This is the power of Maya to deceive until it totally compromises one's intellectual faculty. Maya means Mohini, delusion. Why? It deludes the mind of all jivas, turning the mind away from God in the direction of a material, physical world. It's so powerful, this deluding principle, that we can never transcend this deluding power only by our own intellectual effort. This is very important. Maya is some superhuman power to delude. This samsara is not an ordinary forest that sooner or later you can find your way and walk out. We do not even know that we are deluded in most cases, Huh? Every deluded person say, no, I'm doing okay. I found a very nice guru now. Therefore, duratya means it cannot be easily conquered, especially after the intellect was compromised. All of that because of the gunas. The gunas, as we know, Rajoguna is going to extrovert the mind. Tamoguna is going to depress the mind. And then Sattva Guna makes it clear and read for knowledge, but at the same time produce a nice sense of ananda that deludes the sattvic mind as well. Those are the guna traps produced by Maya. I'm not going to go much in details because we will see on the 14th chapter. Let's keep it for later. And okay, I can see all the products of the gunas of Maya, but where is this paraprakriti locate? No, just a minute. There are four guna, and where is that aparaprakriti locate? So he's saying like, so aparaprakriti in truth is paraprakriti. It's just a superimposition of gunas over the only reality, which is paraprakriti. It belongs to me. The paraprakriti, the only one, the only reality upon which the gunas of Maya are superimposed to deceive you, jivas, and you yourself in jiva's substantial nature is also a byproduct of the gunas of Maya. Your body mind, aparaprakriti, body mind complex, depends on paraprakriti. It belongs to the higher and lower Lord. It belongs to Saguna, Nirguna, Ishvara. And what's the solution? Krishna says the only solution is surrendering to God. What is surrendering to God? I don't grasp this notion of God. I'm going to surrender to any guru that appears in my life. No? Because at least I'm seeing someone there on the stage, deceiving, deluding, but at least there is someone but God. How am I going to surrender to God? Who takes shelter in God humbly, without arrogance? But no, people, materialistic, arrogant, deluded people will say, I don't need God. I need my own guru. We cannot cross this ocean of samsara. We cannot win over the power, the illusional power of Maya by ourselves, by our own, or neither, even less, using with the help of some false gurus. We require the scriptures, Ishwara's scriptures, Ishwara blessings. Ishwara blessings is going to provide us with a guru. Ishwara alone provides us with the guru. The guru will unfold the scripture knowledge. Do not hold on to me, but to the scripture knowledge, says the honest guru. But the fake gurus, even if they say do not hold on to me, they are saying between the lines, hold on to me. So try to understand the teachings. From teacher to the teaching, the scripture knowledge will be handed over to each one of you. Only then you will discover security, ultimately, in yourselves as Nirguna Atma. But to start with, you have to depend upon Saguna Atma, Saguna Ishvara, God. Therefore, those who surrender to me, those who practice bhakti, they alone will cross the ocean of samsara. So it's a big talk, this talk of surrendering to God. And people, they don't know how to understand surrendering to God. It's just a minimum, some sort of intelligence it takes to understand that we have no control over our destiny, our future. We don't know how to do anything. We don't know how to digest our food, as often I say. We have to understand that the supreme power, the supreme intelligence is behind everything, providing us with our prarabdha designed for us from moment to moment. Once we see that, we stop with complaining, with whining.
Trying to control as well.
Time to control, manipulate. So this is surrendering to God, You say, no, God, I understood my position. I'm here to respond to my prarabdha. And to begin with, I have to receive it with a feeling of gratitude and prasada, even if it hurts, even if it's unpleasant prarabdha, And then I'm going to give my response knowing that you are the field of interaction and I'm responding to you. I surrender to your system. I surrender to you. So only these people alone will cross this Maya. Therefore, what is the solution? Krishna calls here prapatihi, otherwise saranagatihi. This is devotion, bhakti, surrender. Bhakti, devotion. A lot of people, Vedantins here and there, especially the people more focused on the direct path, they have no clue what surrender means. In fact, that word does not even exist in the dictionary, Surrender. I am Brahman. Surrender means stop just whining and complaining and wanting what you want at any cost, fighting with Ishwara. Oh, I don't want this prarabdha, I don't want this, I don't want this neighbor, I don't want this, I don't want this husband. So just surrender to life, surrender to God, understand, grow up. Bhakti. naturally, the next question will be, what exactly is bhakti? And Krishna himself will clarify it later. We will see the details later. In initial level, surrender to love, to God, means, okay, God, let's have a deal here. Okay, I will love you if you provide me with what I want. You do a certain bargain with God. So I use God to gain what I want. Now, using God as a means to take me to a worldly end. Okay, it's a kind of bargaining with God during negotiation. No, I give a donation, I give this, I give you my devotion, but you have to perform. So this is a very primitive level of bhakti. I want money, security, pleasures, entertainment, fame and name. So all these lower desires, therefore, that makes the person the lowest of all kinds of bhakti. It's called manda bhakti. God is just a means, and worldly things is the end, And I'm doing some deals with Ishvara. So then gradually, as one grows up a little bit and becomes more mature, the manda bhakti should give way to madhyama bhakti. The Lord is no longer a means by gaining things of this world, such as arta karma, among other things, attainment. So, but God is the end by itself. Okay. So God as the end is also a stage that we need to understand. How can God become an end by itself? Okay, because I know that there is God and I can just be a good boy, a good gal, and then God is going to give me, celestial luck or heaven or hell if I don't behave. So, but how to love God just for the sake of loving God? It boils down to that. So there is something to it, which is the moment that you begin loving God just for the sake of the Lord, because you are in such a high appreciation for the opportunity. Understand? You love God, you see God everywhere, you see the intelligence behind all of that, and then you begin developing an attitude of deep appreciation that satisfies the mind. Satisfy the mind. You can say, I don't care for the love and peace and satisfaction that I gain by loving God. And say, now God is the end. Yes, God is the end, but you see God as the end because you enjoy one of the highest type of peace, of ananda, just by loving God, regardless of what God will take you to, bring to you as your prerogative. It's something that it's a love affair that keeps growing, regardless of my prerogative. You understand? So, and it's highly satisfying. You love God because He say God is the end. So I like to put it in perspective that love is the end, but there is nothing more satisfying than love God. You understand? So there is the two sides of there now, because the experience of the devotee is, I don't even want to know about moksha and Brahman and self-knowledge, because I gain so much by loving God. You understand? So in the initial stage, I appreciate, love God, and do some deals because I want things that I love more than God, which are things of this world, success. And now it's no, I don't care whether I succeed or not in the material world. I care for loving God because it's highly satisfying. I have realized the limitations of all things I have loved so far. So now I know that love towards God is the most satisfying thing. I don't want to depend on my accomplishment in the world. I prefer to depend on my love for God, genuine love. Nothing in the world is dependable. Nothing is really something worth depending upon. Therefore, God becomes the goal of one's life. And this is a very, very sophisticated, high level of bhakti, called Madhyama bhakti. And then comes the final level of bhakti, Uttama bhakti, where God is neither the means nor the end. God is the only reality, is the true nature of Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat. So I love God as the spirit behind everything. So I don't see, because when we love God as a guna God, we are still in a dualistic kind of relationship with God. I see God as something other than myself. But that should grow until we see God as the intrinsic nature of everything, Ishvara, Jiva, and Jagat. So everything is Brahman under a superimposition produced by the power of Maya, the gunas. But everything is Brahman. The ultimate God is Satchitananda Brahman. And I am of the same nature. Everything, this body-mind is just a superimposition upon this nirguna Atma. Therefore, God is neither a means, Saguna God is not an end. Now, the love I had to God, which before was maybe, according to some devotees, it was experientially more, there was more elements of pleasure, I know because I have experienced some of this bhakti that makes your heart so fulfilled and tear comes to your eyes, emotionally is very intense. And that is the satisfaction of loving God. But there is a coolness in loving Nirguna God, Nirguna Brahman, as the substratum of everything. But if in one hand there is it's not as how you say, magnificent or extraordinary, colored by emotions, because devotion is the highest possible emotion available for human beings, and it's experiential. And then when you move to Nirguna God, that experiential extravagance of this emotional devotion, gives place to something that is less extravagant in terms of experience, but it's more peaceful than ever. Understand? So you have more shanti to compensate the devotional romantic attitude that the second level bucket provides. The real God is never away from you, you understand, because it's one's true nature. That is myself. There are three levels of bhakti, which one has to go through. Everyone has to go through, and only when a person comes to the last level, one will be liberated, because even the devotion towards Saguna God is a sort of dependence. It's much better dependence. You need to move one's dependence from things of the world to God as the intelligent and material cause of the universe. Then we are fit to go into non-dual devotion, as we say, which is liberation or freedom. But we have to start somewhere, and usually with manda bhakti. At least we bring God into our equation of life, and then we work from there. In Uttama Bhakti, one gets liberation, and this final liberation, final Bhakti, is what has been pointed out here in this verse. Let's go back to the verse. This divine Maya of mind, which consists of three gunas, is indeed difficult to cross over. Only those people who totally surrender to my true nature as Nirguna Atma will be liberated from samsara, from Maya. Liberation is only possible when we reach a devotional appreciation, which is not romantic as in the second stage. It's no longer dualistic, but it's a deep peace and appreciation for the background, for the adhisthana, which is the substratum of my apparent nature as the body, mind, sense complex. Okay, and where am I? 15. The vicious mean people, vicious and mean people who are deprived of the discrimination by Maya. You see, everything begins with discrimination. Maya has the power to deceive like anybody else. And the vicious mean people who are deprived by the discrimination due to the power of Maya are deeply deluded, and they develop demonic nature, and therefore they cannot surrender to me. This is a very powerful verse. In the moment that we see so many demonic entities, people, dress up as, as heroes.
Good. This verse is actually good news when you look what's going on.
Yeah, when you know what's going on, the power of Maya to deceiving people. And says the first thing that goes is discrimination, delusion. And then once you are deluded, you can no longer see the illusion. And then almost invariably, one develops demonic nature. And I see it all over the place nowadays in the world we live. People who became so materialistic that they deny God, they defy God. So how our society, our civilization came to such a level of deprivation of discrimination, it's something really mind-boggling. So the verse points out that many people do not take recourse in the Lord through devotion and sadhana because they don't have discrimination. And here Swami presents that they don't have spiritual vasana, so they don't have merit, so they don't have punya working for them. They have papa, and they are being destroyed by surrendering to demonic entities, believing they may find immortality. So everybody requires some punya. They require some puva janma punya, a birth which is a byproduct of good merits, punya, spiritual punya. If this spiritual punya is not there, first things, the person will not be born in a culture in which the scripture knowledge revealed by Ishvara is available, because the punya is not strong enough to bring people to those cultures. But there is no mistake. Sometimes people are born in culture in which the scriptures are not available, but they find their way, they travel, especially nowadays with the internet. So if this spiritual punya is there, the person will get in contact with the scripture. But generally speaking, he will be born in a materialist culture if he does not have this kind of punya. The whole life of a materialistic person is going to be about security and entertainment, pleasures, and so on. They do not have sufficient punya. You see, there is a connection here. Before it was saying that the problem is they don't have discrimination, and then they destroy themselves and they surrender to demonic entities, you know. And he is saying they don't have discrimination because they don't have good punya as well, you know. We need punya. We need merit. We need a contact with the scriptures. And yet some people get to that, get to the guru, you know, to the scriptures, and still they don't really value it because they don't have enough discrimination, enough preparedness. The person wants a sort of samsara, a mundane samsara, or a mystical samsara. Therefore, to begin with, we need to have sufficient spiritual punya. To begin with, to be born as a human being is good punya, but I don't know. Some people, we cannot take for granted some people that we see in the TV or here or there in the news, they are humans because they are so demoniac. You know, how can they be humans? You know. Oh no, but you're born in a human, that says a lot. This is punya. You are born as human. What? There are so many people dressed up as humans that are more demoniac-like. Okay, they want just power, control, domination, pleasures, abuse of other living creatures. So, what is that? To be born as a human in a proper culture, which is going to talk about the four human pursuits, purusharthas, and then gradually the person will grow from arta, karma to moksha and dharma. So they will get in contact with the scriptures on moksha, and then they are going to develop mumukshutvam, manusyatvam, and mahapurusana. The last one I don't know. Do you know, Lynn? Uru?
This is the grace of being able to surrender to a true teacher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Charya. Yeah, that's very nice. So this is something else as well. Desire, and then the person is graced with not only the scripture, but the guru, that, as we know in our tradition, guru and the scripture, they should go together. But then some people, they are allergic to gurus. All of that requires maturity of punya. Krishna says that most people do not have punya to that extent. Therefore, Krishna says there are many who do not have punya. They have sufficient punya only to be born as a globalist, one of these entities that want to control every aspect of humanity through AI. They have sufficient punya to be born as human being, but not sufficient to come to God, to come to the scriptures. Therefore, das Krishna means because of that, what they do, they are deluded by Maya. That word means delusion. There are so many words, all of them meaning delusion.
Yeah, this kind of means robbed of discrimination.
Lack of discrimination. Okay. They are deluded by Maya. They don't have the discrimination. People are kept busy in the pursuit of things of this world, and even things from the mystical samsara. And then Swami talks about the distractions in the TV and all. It's 20 years ago, just imagine nowadays. But if they would have had some discrimination, they would discern that all these things are not going to provide them with peace and happiness they are looking for. People get money, people lose everything. Everything is impermanent. So, but he does not apply that in the case of life. Why? Maya deludes people. They prevent people to see the stupidity of trying to find happy and stability in duality, having certain experience in the hope that they may become permanent. Everything is changing. Everything comes to an end. And then sooner or later, the person gets some very bitter experience. The person has never turned his or her mind to God. Maya is the greatest, trickest, illusionist, deceiver. Utterly deluded, delusion is take the impermanent to be permanent. This is another nice conclusion. Delusion is to take Atma to be anatima, anatima to be Atma, to take reality to be duality, to take the impermanent world to be a permanent ground on which you transact. All of that is delusion, which is a byproduct of indiscrimination. Superposition of the wrong things on the object. This is also very important. There is so much confusion nowadays due to communication in this world was able to confuse everybody, Superimposition of the wrong things. We see objects, human objects or inert objects as something that can really deliver happiness to me. But nothing is completely lost, knowing that we would be totally deluded. Bhagavan has given us gurus and shastras. He knew that we were getting caught in samsara. He has created gurus and shastras like a manual, the shastra like a manual. We have got gas in the house, so to carefully handle, otherwise it may explode. Similar gurus and shastras are there, but this person will be arrogant, the materialistic, indiscriminate, deluded people. Banduka Upanishad describes this situation. They do not know anything, but they think they know everything, so much so. So why should I approach anyone? I am the superego, the all-knower Jiva. Why should I study scriptures? And much less, why should I approach a guru? Therefore, these indiscriminate, arrogant people are going to miss on the highest goal, which is available only for human beings. They are going to waste a human life, a human birth, the same way someone would burn one sandalwood just to cook rice and dal. They go for the lower thing, therefore they are naradamaha, indiscriminate people. They rather want to have a Valentine than to have a teacher or a guru. When I use my life for procuring, searching, seeking, arta karma, I will find that any amount I get will not satisfy me. Okay, we are over with our time here. I passed a little bit because in the beginning my voice was not performing. We meet again this coming Monday, okay? In the other timing in the morning, earlier, okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Okay, Lynn.
Thank you, Arta.
Next Monday. Bye bye.